Hey, welcome back to Kaan's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. Wat leuk dat je weer kijkt. Dankjewel. This sweet card is for the stamp and install, but I also gladly show you here what I have designed. The stamp set Warm Welcome has these cute shoes. Add some dies, a bow. What more could you want? Well, some pretty designer series paper, of course. If you want to find out how I made this card, come and join me. Kijk gezellig mee. A closer look at the card, and you can see it has a break in the front and the envelope, which I've also decorated. I thought they went together very nicely. I've used basic white cardstock, mint macaron and the Country Gingham Designer Series paper. Also the grosgrain ribbon, which is Pool Party, but you see the colour goes really well with the mint macaron, no problem there. The stamp set that I've used is called Warm Welcome. This is the Dutch version, the English version is Warm Welcome. And I've used this stamp with shoes. There is a die set which accompanies this stamp set. I haven't used it because it's not needed for this card. I did use two other die sets though, and I'll show you. The labels I'm going to cut from the Something Fancy dies, and I've already taken them out. It's well, there's the three, you see? The middle one and then the smallest one. And I have used the three hearts from the Give It a Whirl dies. Here they are. The smallest one is AWOL, and I just put them together like that, and then you can die cut them from a scrap piece of designer series paper. I've put adhesive sheet on the back, so you can die cut three hearts in one go, and then you can remove the backing and then stick them on to your envelope, and I think, well, it gives it a little extra, don't you agree? So I'll put these over there. I'm not showing you how to make the envelope because I think that is clear. Right, then the cardstock mats I'm going to show you, and I'll put my card over here that I can see it as a reference. Hope it doesn't topple over. The mint macaron cardstock, as I said, you need a scrap to die cut the label, and you need a scrap of basic white as well. The first mat in mint macaron is, let me get this right, 4 1/8 by, 4 inches. Yeah, it's 4 by 3 5/8. In centimeters that is 10.2 by 9.2 centimeters. And this one is again 4 inches, but then it is 7/8 of an inch. In centimeters 10.2 by 2.2 centimeters. You're going to need some designer series papers mats as well. I'll cut them for you to show you. Need my trimmer then. I was just looking for my trimmer. For the designer series paper mats, you need one mat which is, it helps if you first cut 3 7/8 of an inch, but then, because then you can cut all the other mats from that as well. So 3 7/8 of an inch. In centimeters that's 9.9. Then you turn it and you need a piece which is 3/4 of an inch, which is 1.9 centimeters. And you need another bit which is 3.5 inches. So 3.5. In centimeters that is 8.9 centimeters. So these are the two mats that I need, and from this piece you can cut, or from that piece you can cut the hearts for the envelope, should you want to decorate your envelope. I'm going to first adhere these mats to the pieces of cardstock. Don't worry, I'll speed up for that. So these are adhered, and before I can stick them onto the card I have to attach the ribbon, and this is how you do it, but it makes life easy if you use something to tie the ribbon around. In this case my bottle of glue, and I'm just measuring if the ends are long enough like that to go around the card, and they are, so I can cut off the ribbon from the spool. And then I'm going to tie it around the glue bottle. And I want one end just a bit longer than the other, so you just tie a knot, something like that, and then you put the left one over the right again and you pull, and then you can slide it off the bottle easily because it's tapered, and then cut through there, and then you can shorten these two ends, the end of the loop that you've just cut through. I did warn somebody about not coughing or sniffing, who's in the same room with me. No reaction. And I'm going to put the ribbon on 1 inch from the top, so I'm using the grid paper and my tear and tape. So a piece of tear and tape, 1 inch, and then 2 pieces there, so that when you fold the ribbon around it you can stick it down as well. Oh, before I stick it onto my card I'm going to make sure that the ends don't fray anymore. So with a cigarette lighter you can accomplish that. Be careful, the ribbon is, well, it has synthetic material in it as well, so that you don't set fire to your ribbon. And then you can put it on top of the ribbon, the tear and tape I mean, and you can offset it a bit to the right or to the left. In my case I want it a bit towards the left. So you remove the backing paper and you put the ribbon on, and you go round the back and fold the ribbon over. So that's a nice trick to tie some ribbon on, and you don't have to use ribbon all along that stretch, and it's an easy way to tie the knot as well. So this then can go onto my card base, and for that you need a piece of basic white. You need a piece that is 4 1/8 of an inch, that is 10.5 centimeters, and it has to be 10 1/4 inches long. So I'll have to open the arm for that, and I'm checking up, yeah, that you can still see what I'm doing. So it is 10 1/4 inches long, this piece of cardstock. In centimeters that is, it says here 28, but that can't be right. I'll have to check that. I don't think it's 28 centimeters, because that would be 11 inches, wouldn't it? I'll just check. If it's not correct, I'll blend in the right size. Oh, of course, I can check the centimeters on my trimmer, Gavin. It is 26 centimeters. 26 centimeters, so that's wrong in my notes. I'll correct that. 26, okay. Then with a long side top, you're going to put a score line at 5.5 inches, which is 14 centimeters. Oh, get the right blade. And then you have a longer piece and a shorter piece, and at the shorter end you cut off a 1-inch strip, 2.5 centimeters. That's the card base. Then I'm going to adhere these two onto the card base. So this is how it goes together later on. I've already die cut the background with the larger of the two dies. In a minute I'm going to die cut the one from the basic white. First I'm going to do some stamping, and I need the block and I need the stamp. There are the little shoes. I'm going to use Versamark and the Early Espresso ink, and then I'm going to put clear emboss powder on top. I'll put everything ready here, and I'm going to heat emboss that because I want to colour my shoes with the stamping blends. And the colours that I've used, everything is on my blog as usual, and the link is below. And because I'm going to use the stamping blends, I need to heat emboss the outline of the stamped image, and it has a nice effect too. They're raised a bit and a bit shiny. So I have my two pans out. I'm going to ink up first with the Versamark, then the darker ink, and then stamp. And immediately while the ink is still wet, put the emboss powder on top, and that I'm going to heat emboss. And I'll speed up for that as well. You don't want to watch this in detail, and you certainly don't want to hear the heat gun making a lot of noise. So I'll be back when I finish this. And you can see that even with these tiny shoes you can create some depth by blending the darker and the lighter colour in. It looks more lively that way, I always think. Right, then these I'm going to die cut, and I'm going to put my shoes a bit towards the bottom. Then I'm going to show you a trick how you can attach all these elements together, because this one goes towards the bottom here and you don't want that to move when you stick that one on. So you could tape it down onto your work surface. I'm just using my Stamparatus for this. I've taken away the plate to do the stamping with. I just need the base here, which is iron, and then I can use a magnet as well. So I'm putting my strip on at the bottom and make sure it's aligned properly. Put the magnet on top, and then it's easy to adhere this piece. I'm going to use the stamping dimensionals for that, the mini ones, and you put 3 at either end. If you don't have the mini ones, you could cut your normal ones in half, but I do have the mini ones, so I'm using those. And they have a flat end, so you can put the flat end flush with the edge of your die cut piece, don't put anything in the middle because that's where the break in the front is, and if you put a dimensional there you will stick it to your card, but then it won't be able to open anymore. So this then can go on there, making sure I'm putting it on straight. And you see a pretty card finished. I'll take the envelope out as well again. When I showed my husband this card, he looked at it, said, "Oh nice, a shoebox." A shoebox. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye, tot ziens.